Dear second year students, I will analyze the poem, The Ballad of Father Gilligan today. This is the last part, and in this concluding part, I want to say that how Father Gilligan, being weary, has rendered his services days and nights together. He has no rest, no joy, no peace, but still he is working for the mankind. He is working for the poor. He is working for the ailing man. Since his area is affected by a terrible epidemic, Father Gilligan, that is Peter Gilligan, is very much sincere, being a churchman, being a priest of a church, and he continuously does his duty for the public good, for the public upliftment, and for providing service to the poor and the sick man. In the first part of the poem, I have told you about the introduction to ballad and what is a ballad and the rhyme pattern, rhyme scheme, the definition of the ballad, the story of the medieval time, the folklore, folktale, traditional theme, legendary things, and many of the things I have already told you. And W.B. Yeats, being a modern poet, has written ballad, and he has paid his homage to the traditional ballad. So, students, you are to note down that how W.B. Yeats has already come forward, being a modern poet, he has come forward to write the old thing, explore the old thing, to gather something about the ballad, the traditional ballad, even if the literary ballad, but it is a ballad, but not a ballade. It is a ballad, but not a ballade. B-L-L-A-D-E. This is not a ballade, but it is a ballad. B-L-L-A-D. Ballad is different from ballad. Ballade is found there in the French writers' creativity. We find ballade, but ballad is seen in English writers' writings. And that is why W.B. Yeats, being a 20th century poet, wants to explore the ballad, wants to explore the themes for the ballad. And he is one of the romantic poets in the 20th century world. W.B. Yeats is called a romantic poet in the 20th century or in modern days. So, dear students, you come that when he is sent for, when Father Gilligan is sent for, by the time he is nodding on the chair, since he has no rest, rendering his round the clock service, rendering his 24 years of service, 24 hours of service, rendering 25 hours of service. That is why Father Gilligan has expressed his inability to serve the poor man. And he spends the entire night. They are nodding on the chair. He spends the entire night nodding on the chair. The evening passes away, the night passes away, and the morning comes. You mark how the morning comes. with a sparrow chirp, and the moths come to wing. They fly on their wings. Moths, small moths, insects. Again, the early morning comes, and the poet wants to say, Human. Upon the time of sparrow chirp, when the moths came once more, the old priest Peter Gilligan stood upright on the floor. So, I will now go to the past form. From the very beginning, I was telling you in the present form, but I will go to the past form since the poet has already been described in the past form. The slowly into millions grew, leave it. Upon the time of a sparrow chirp, when the moths came once more, the old priest Peter Gilligan stood upright on the floor. Upon the time of a sparrow chirp. So sparrow chirp is a compound one. So we'll focus our attention to all these things later on. But I want to say, for the poet wants to convey, for the poet wants to say, dear students, upon the time of a sparrow chirp, the morning came, the dawn came, the entire night passed away. The entire night passed away, the evening passed away. The evening passed away, night passed away. The old man was found on the chair, and he had already fallen asleep. And when he woke up, he saw that morning was there. The morning had already appeared. And the old man, all of a sudden, stood upright on the floor. The priest Peter Gilligan stood upright on the floor when the sparrow was chirping. The sparrows were chirping. The morning came. Again, the darkness disappeared. The dungeon disappeared. The murky night passed away. The murky night, the dark night passed away. And the morning came with new hope, new aspiration, new instinct, new intuition, new impetus. The morning came. And the old man stood upright on the floor. And the moths again were on their wings. The moths again were on their wings. And by the time the priest, Peter Gilligan, Father Gilligan, woke up. Mabrun, the man had died. While I slept on the chair, he roused his horse out of its sleep and rode with little care. Mabrun. So with the cry of a grief. Mabrun. So they are the two words, Mabrun, like that of alas. Interjection, that is called interjection. So alas, Mabrun, the cry of grief. The old man gave the cry of grief. And again, Mabrun, the man has died. And he thought that perhaps the man had already passed away. The man has gone. But the old man's belief was that the man passed away. And while I slept on the chair, while the old man was found on the chair, the old man, the sick man, the ailing man, perhaps has gone. And he roused his horse out of its sleep and rode with a little care. So, coming to consciousness, coming to reality, he rode to the sick man's house very quickly, and he obeyed no bar, no obstruction. He obeyed no bar, no obstruction. And without care, with little care, what the poet has pointed out, with little care, that means without care, he rode to the sick man's house in order to see whether the sick man is alive, the sick man is still living, or has gone away, has passed away. So that is why the old man, without any care, the old man rode to, the Father Gilligan rode to the sick man's house. He roused his horse. He roused his horse early in the morning, in the early part of the morning, in the early part of the dawn, and finally decided to go to the sick man's house, and that was also done. And the old man rode to the sick man's house with his horse. And again, he rode now as he never rode. He rode now as he never rode by rocky lane and fell. The sick man's wife opened the door. Father, you come again. He rode now as he never rode by rocky lane and fell. So it was a careless riding. But the point has already pointed out that the old man has already stopped to the careless riding. And he rode to the sick man's house in order to see the condition of the sick man. Since he had already sent a call to the Father Gilligan while he was nodding on the chair, and the Father Gilligan, in his ignorance, refused to go in his ignorance. But when he got his consciousness, when he came to his consciousness, he realized his mistake and sent a silent prayer to God to forgive him. And in this condition, early in the morning, the old man rode to the sick man's house, and without obeying any law of the rule, any rules of the rule, without obeying any rules of the rule, carelessly, recklessly, he rode to the sick man's house recklessly, carelessly, without any care, without obeying the rule of the rule, without obeying the law of the rule. The old man rode to the sick man's house. By rocky lane and affair, by rocky lane and affair, the horse rode, the horse took him on the rocky lane and affair, the swampy area. He crossed the rocky area, he crossed zigzag area, he crossed, and the uphill journey. He made uphill journey with his horse. He made uphill journey because it was a passing steed, 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 horse. It was a passing steed. It obeyed no bar. It obeyed no obstruction. It obeyed no impediment. It obeyed nothing. And it carried the old man to the sick man's house without any hindrance, without any problem, without obeying any sort of law, any sort of rules of the rule. By rocky land and fen, uphill journey, and also the swampy land, fen. And the sick man's wife opened the door. Father, you come again. So the sick man's wife saw the father in front of his house, in front of the door, and told, why did Father Gilligan come again? Why did Father Gilligan come again? What was the reason? But the old man had paid no visit to that house. The old man, old Peter Gilligan, has never paid his visit to that house that night. But still, the sick man's wife uh, gave assertion. The sick man's wife gave assertion that the old man had already come that night. And why did the old man come again? Why did the old man come again? And the sick man's wife told, and is the poor man dead? He cried. And is the poor man dead? He cried. The old man cried. The old man wanted to know. The old man made an inquiry. The old man wanted to know whether the poor man had died or not. So that was a question mark. So in the first line of the stanza, you see page number 125. And is the poor man dead? He cried. So the old priest Peter Gilligan cried whether the old man was dead. And he died an hour ago. The wife of the poor man, the sick man's wife told that an hour ago her husband passed away an hour ago. The old priest Peter Gilligan in grief sweat to him. So his heart was bereaved. His heart was laden with sorrow. His heart was bereaved, laden with sorrow. His heart was heavy, H-E-A-V-Y. His heart was heavy, having heard that the old man or the sick man passed away. The sick man has already gone, has already passed away. So learning this or doing this, the old man becomes to and fro. The old man becomes a to and fro. The poet says, in grief, swayed to and fro, what to do, what not to do, what to say, what not to say. So the old Peter Gilligan is in a dilemma. He is in a dilemma. He was dumbfounded. He was totally dumbfounded, speechless. He became speechless. He became dumbfounded. He had no voice to utter. He had no words to utter. When he heard that the man has gone, the man has passed away. When he heard, really, it is a very sad event, a tragic event. This is a tragic event, a very sad event. And the old priest Peter Gilligan in grief swayed to and fro. An hour ago, that man had passed away. When you are gone, he turned and died. When you are gone, when the Father Gilligan left the place at night, that night, he turned and died. Her husband died, turned and died. As many as a bar. As many as a bar. So, that is an allusion. Because the bar is the symbol. Bar is the symbol in W.E.S. as a poem. In Yeats's poem, eagle is a symbol. Falcon is a symbol. Falcon. Turning and turning into widening Jaya. The falcon cannot hear the falconer. The things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is lodged upon the world. The blood dim tide is low. Everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. So that is, these are the lines of a second copy by W.S. So falcon image is there. Falcon is a bird. Falconer. Falcon image is there. Eagle image is there. Bird's image is there. Bird's images are also there in his poems. So that is why the bird dies. Merrily. He says that the bird as merry as a bird. As merry as a bird means he has already derived something out of the Bible. He has taken something out of the Bible. And this is a biblical allusion. Since bird is the image, bird is the imagery, or bird is the symbol, bird is an allegory. Bird is a symbol, bird is an allegory. So you should not delve deep into the line because so many things are there. It is quite impossible on my part to tell you everything because this is not necessary for you because you will appear only in 2 marks. So 1 question 2 marks, 5 questions 10 marks, and you will never delve deep into the poem. But still, as per my capability, what I know, I want to portray or I want to delineate, I want to inculcate in you, I want to say just before you. So you should know that body is an imagery, body is a symbol, body is an allegory, and body is a symbol in the poem of W.S. Eagle is a symbol, falcon is a symbol, and so many. W.S. is famous for his symbolic poems. W.S. is famous for his symbolic poems. I have cited 6-8 lines of his poem, the second copy of his poem, second copy, very powerful poem. I have already cited, and there the image of the bird falcon is also found. And here, the old man's wife, the sick man's wife says that he dies as merry as a bird. He dies as merry as a bird, which is a simile, nothing but a simile. As merry as, it is a simile. The old priest Peter Gilligan, he nailed him at that word. And hearing this, the old Peter Gilligan, the Father Gilligan, knelt down and sent a silent prayer to God, thinking something else. What did he think? That somebody has perhaps come in his form. Somebody has come to the sick man's house in his form, in Father Gilligan's form. So perhaps that is why the old priest Peter Gilligan knelt down to send a silent prayer to God. The God is Almighty, God is omnipresent, God is found everywhere. And God saw that Father Gilligan was very weary and feeble. Father Gilligan was weary and feeble, very tired. And in this condition, he would never serve the poor man. So God perhaps had already sent another angel or someone to do his duty. So only because of that, Father Gilligan knew all these things and knelt down to send silent prayer to God. So hearing this from the utterance, from the mouth of the sick man's wife, Father Gilligan led down to send silent prayer to God. He who hath made the night of stars. He who hath made the night of stars. The poets remark. So these are the poets remark. He who hath made the night of stars. He, that is God, who has already made the night of stars for souls who tire and bleed. Sent one of his great angels down to help me in my need. That is the poet's remark, and that is the say of the heart. Say of the heart of Peter Gilligan. Peter Gilligan said that God had already sent an angel on behalf of him. God had already sent an angel on behalf of him to do his work, and he had taken the form of Father Gilligan, the semblance of Father Gilligan, the form of Father Gilligan, in a disguise, that angel had come. And the members of the family knew that that night Father Gilligan had come. But really Father Gilligan was nodding on the chair. Father Gilligan was nodding on the chair. Since he had no rest, no joy, no peace, he was nodding on the chair. God knew it. Because God was tossing with a blanket, I have told you earlier. God was tossing with a blanket and seeing what is happening on the earth. God has created this universe. He has created the luminous stars. He has already created the luminous stars, this universe, this planet, sub-planet, and everything is created by Him. And still, God has never forgotten a silly thing. God has never forgotten a banal thing. God has never forgotten a silly, very insignificant thing, unimportant thing. God has never forgotten. An unimportant, a very silly thing, unimportant, ignoble thing, banal thing. And he has kept in memory the activities of Father Gilligan. He has kept in his memory the activities of Father Gilligan, how Father Gilligan is rendering, is working for the public, is working for the public upliftment, is working for the sick man, is providing help near the sick man's beds, is providing help near the sick man's beds. And God is doing all these things. And after doing all these things, He has already sent one of His angels in the form of, in the guise of Father Gilligan to do His work on His behalf. So, He who hath made the night of stars, the God who hath made the night of stars, many stars are the luminous stars, luminous band of stars, and that we mark in the distant sky, luminous, glittering stars, shining stars are innumerable in number. They are innumerable in number. And for souls who tire and bleed, for souls who tire and bleed, who are very tired, who are bleeding, falling on the thorns of life. So P.B. Shelley has pointed out, I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. So every day we fall upon the thorns of life, every day. And we start bleeding. We start bleeding mentally, psychologically, physically, and we are falling every day on the thorns of life. So the poet says, or the Father Gilligan says, that for souls who tire and bleed, the souls who tire and bleed, that means he refers it to himself. Because he was that night very tired and he was bleeding. That means he was very tired and very weary and he was very feeble. Since he had provided sufficient services, he had provided immense services for the dying people, going to their beds, days and nights together, going to their beds, and sent one of his great angels down to help me in my need. So to do the work of Father Gilligan, God has sent an angel. So that angel has come in the form of Father Gilligan, in the shape of Father Gilligan, the guise of Father Gilligan, to do Father Gilligan's work. Only because of that, the sick man's wife told the father, as to why he came again. As to why he came again for the second time, early in the morning. That night he had left. After his departure, the old man died. But why did Father Gilligan come again early in the morning? What was the reason? So that angel is nothing but a metaphor. You mark that angel is nothing but a metaphor because it has many meanings. That angel is nothing but a metaphor. Angels, one of his great angels, to help me in my need. He who is wrapped in a purple robes, he who is wrapped, it has been traditionally told. It has been told in the Bible. It has been told in the Bible. So that is why he has already alluded. The poet has already alluded. He has brought this allusion from the Bible. He who is wrapped in purple robes with the planets in his care. All the planets are under his care. All the planets, even if the earth are under his care. So, remaining away, where he is, we do not know. Remaining away, he sees everything. Because his presence is found everywhere. His presence is found. He looks at and looks after. He looks at the universe and looks after the creatures. He looks at the universe and looks after the universe. You mark, looks after the creatures. Living, non-living, everything. Living and non-living. He who is wrapped in purple robes. So, purple robes indicates something good. God is wrapped in purple robes, in purple garments, in purple robes, symbol of goodness, symbol of beauty, and symbol of goodness, symbol of beauty. He who is wrapped in purple robes with the planets in his care. So with the planets, all the planets are under his care. And a pity on the least of things. And he pitied upon the least of things. That is Father Gilligan. The least of things is nothing but Father Gilligan. He pitied upon the least of things, asleep upon his chair. Father Gilligan considered himself to be a least of thing. The least of thing is nothing but Father Gilligan. And God had showered grace, God had showered blessings upon him and sent one of the angels to do his duty work. Because Father Gilligan is a noble man. Father Gilligan is a pious man. Father Gilligan is a sacred soul. Father Gilligan is a religious man, a spiritual man. So, a spiritual man is very close to God. A religious man is always very close to God because they are his man. All these men, spiritual, religious, the noble man, sacred souls are very close to God. And God wants them. God wants them to help the rural public, the sick man, the young people, and do everything good for the society. And God has sent these men to the earth, to this planet. And normally you see students in each and every era, in each and every jugo, in each and every era, the sacred souls descend down the earth. Descend down the earth. God does that. Because they will be very close to God. The noble souls will be very close to God because they are also known as God men. So a spiritual man can be a God man. A spiritual man Can he be a God man? He is a God man. A religious man is a God man. And God has a direct communion with him, with them. God has a direct communion, direct connection with them. And that is why they are the incarnate. The noble men are the incarnate of God. They are the incarnate of God. And that is why the poet wants to say that he who is wrapped in purple robes with the planets in his care, where God is there, wrapped in purple robes, and under his care, there is great universe. There is a vast universe under his care. But he has never forgotten to pity upon. He has never forgotten to pity upon the least of the things. The least of things means that is Father Gilligan, who is nodding on this year. He has never forgotten. Because a religious man, Father Gilligan is a religious man, and he has a communion with, he has a rapport with, he has a very connection with the God. Because that man is a God man. Father Gilligan is a God man, a spiritual man. And he has a rapport with the divinity, the divine power. He has a rapport with the cosmic power, the divine power. So that is why the poet wants to say that had a pity on the least of things, a small thing, banal thing, a slip of the chair. When Father Gilligan is found asleep on the chair, one of the angels has already come to render Father Gilligan's service to the sick man. Though the sick man is dead or out, but he dies just like a happy bird. He dies just like as merry as a bird. So, with a simile, the poet has told, he dies, the poet has told, in the mouth of sick man's wife, in the words of sick man's wife, the poet has told that he dies as merry as a bird. So, bird is the symbol, and bird is the symbol. And in the Bible, you will see the symbols. The bird symbols, the symbols of birds are many in the Bible. So that is why that is a biblical allusion. This is a biblical allusion which is referred to Bible, and the poet has alluded. The poet has alluded in the poem. And he who is wrapped with, or he who is wrapped in purple robes with planets in his care, had a pity on the least of things, asleep of nature. Who is looking after the entire globe? Who is looking after the entire globe, you mark, has never forgotten a very ignoble thing, has never forgotten a banal thing, BNL, has never forgotten an unimportant thing, has never forgotten Father Gilligan. So Father Gilligan, being a nobleman, being a priest, being a churchman, being a religious man, is having his rapport with the divine power. And divine power is omnipresent. The divine power, the cosmic power is omnipresent. And God looks at the universe and takes care of the human beings, takes care of the living creatures, takes care of the animate and inanimate things. The animate and inanimate things takes care of. So you mark, dear students, God sees everything. God sees everything but waits. God sees everything but waits. But that waiting will bring you a very good result, you mark. So I have already covered one of the stories. The name of the story is God sees the truth but waits. God sees the truth but waits. But that waiting will give you a very beautiful result in the long run. In the last part, you will get a very beautiful result. Truth will triumph. Falsehood will perish. Falsehood will perish. Truth will triumph. Religious man will trump. But the villains will perish, the devils will perish. And you have come across many of the things, many of the instances in this society, in this world. You have seen many things. You are reading many things in the newspaper. And the devils are perished. The villains are perished. No doubt. But the religious man, this pious man, the spiritual man, though they suffer, but the trump, Trumps, but the trump. And the sick man's, the sick man, the sick man's wife says that her husband dies just like a bird, just like a happy bird, as merry as a bird, very beautifully. He has a happy death. He has a happy death. He dies happy or he dies happily. Both are correct. He dies happy. He dies happily. Both are correct. Again, I am telling you. He dies happy and he dies happily. The old man dies happily, as merry as a bird, which is a simile. The poet has given with metaphor, simile, compound words, and other things, other imageries, hyperbole, and many of the imageries are there. With this, the poet has concluded the poem, highlighting the activities of a God, the omnipotent, and he is the creator of the universe, he is the creator of mankind, he is the creator of this earth, and he sees everything, looks at everything, and looks after everything. And he always tries to bring balance. Always trying to bring balance. And unless the balance is there, no earth can survive. No earth can survive unless the balance is there. So anyhow, dear students, so this is having a moral lesson that he who helps others is helped by God. He who helps others is helped by God. God is there to help you. A religious man is always close to God, and a religious man is called a God man. Religious man is called a God man, and a religious man is an incarnate of God. A religious man is an incarnate of God. So this is about the countryside of Ireland. This is about the countryside of Ireland when people are dying and dying. When people are dying and dying, and Father Gilligan was providing service to them. So, dear students, this particular story has already come out of the folklore folktale, or out of the folklore folktale of the medieval time, of the old time, and the entire poem may be an allegorical or it is an atypical poem. It is an atypical, Atypical, atypical poem. And with this, I want to conclude the poem. I don't want to explore more and more because you will be puzzled. But when we will meet inside the classroom, then I will tell you many things. What is biblical allusion? What is the meaning of the bird, as merry as a bird, biblical allusion, and all these things are to be discussed inside the classroom when there is an interaction class, and we should pray to God that He should be graceful, He should be kind and sympathetic to us, and the pandemic will disappear, and again the classes, the interaction classes, the classes inside the four walls of the rooms will be conducted, will be done, will be carried on, and pray to God. Send your silent prayer to God. This pandemic should disappear as early as possible. So inside the classroom, I will tell you many things. Because I have written a book on the WBS. The name of the book is Esotericism. I have written a book. That book is mine. Esotericism. You will see my website and see the book. Esotericism. That book deals with only symbols. Esotericism. And you will see the book there in the website www.lkpadhi.in. 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 That is the website. And in that website, you will see the book written by me on WBS, Esotericism. So that book deals with only symbols, allegory, symbols, and esotericism, magic, witchcraft, and many of the things have been dealt. And thank you all. Thank you all students. Thank you all.